Hi, good morning, everyone. I would request a few of my friends who knows me already to just ping me by any chance if there is any issue with the audio and video, because this is my first Instagram live, so I'm a bit uh, cautious and conscious also. And good morning, each one of you. Can you hear me, guys, now? Am I audible to you? Just say yes if you are able to listen to me and see me clearly. Maybe I will begin in a minute then. Okay, great. Oh, pleasure to know that, and thanks for the confirmation that you can see me. I'm so sorry if you find some technical glitches here and there because of two reasons. One is I'm doing the Instagram live for the first time. I have been anchoring shows at TV and moderating sessions at many events, but I have never done an Instagram live. So maybe you will find some technical glitches here. Please pardon me for that. And the second thing is the place where I live, there is some construction going on. So you will keep listening to the hammering sound and some drilling sound. So please bear me with that. But I promise you that whatever the questions that I have, I will try to address that. If I don't manage to address it here, I think you are connected to me on Instagram now. So I will at least, help you understand whatever my learnings are on the Instagram. So please follow me there and raise your questions there also. Even after this session, you can directly ping me on the Instagram or wherever possible. So boys and girls, I have a very interesting topic to share with you. And as I moderate sessions at multiple places, and also I have happened to, or I would say that it was my pleasure to visit some colleges, maybe ISB or even Symbiosis or ITM or Narsim Monji in past, and deliver some lectures on the finances, maybe on fintechs, maybe how's the BFSI sector doing, and also moderated some sessions there. And the important thing that most of the students asked me is what are the jobs available. And in fact I keep receiving this message on the LinkedIn or wherever on my social media accounts from different students that if I could guide them. So that is why I thought, okay, whatever learnings that I have, I will share it here. So today, before I begin specifically about what are the emerging jobs, let me give you some background to it. And let me begin by saying about a few negative things first, and then the few positive things, and then what are the jobs available. So I'm going to, divide this session into three parts. One is the background, which consists negative and the positive sides, and the second thing is the job opportunities and the future of jobs in the finance. So again, I welcome each one of you, and let me begin with the background story, which is a negative story for the finance jobs right now. Before that, let me quickly introduce you to all of you, those who don't know me. My name is Amol Dete. I have been a finance journalist since last 12 years, and currently I'm working with Economic Times. I'm heading the etbfsi.com and etcfo.com. And I have interviewed almost all the top CFOs from the BFSI sector, and we do keep to them on a regular basis. So that's why I have some learnings for you specifically here. Coming back to the specific topic, emerging jobs in the finance sector, let me talk about the background. So my dear friends, I'm sure all of you must have understood by now, after 9 months of pandemic, that situation is not right in the economy. Situation is still very green, and what is worst is the uncertainty is killing everybody. We do not know how long the situation will be. We really don't know how long this uncertainty will be, and this impact is visible on all the sectors, including finance sector. So most of the banks, the finance companies, are not hiring very aggressively, which they used to do earlier, which is a negative sign. And there are two aspects to it. One, because of the uncertainty. Second, because they don't know whether if they hire somebody, whether those people will be able to join or not. Third, though the banks have started hiring virtually, a few banks, they are still very unconscious or very unknown about the fact that whether the candidate is really right and whether he will stay back to us in near future. So they are not very sure. So they have postponed their plans of hiring. And two important things happening on the negative side here is the PSU banks were the major recruiters for the BFSI space, is going really slow because of two reasons. The first reason is the amalgamation of banks. You must have seen a lot of PSU banks merged with each other. For example, Indian Bank merged with Allahabad Bank, Dena Bank and Vijaya Bank merged with Bank of Baroda. So automatically for the banks, the first priority is to go ahead with the amalgamation. For Indian Bank, the priority is not to hire, immediately 10,000 or 20,000 people, which perhaps they used to do earlier, but to amalgamate the Allahabad employees and, first be on the track. The same story is with the other PSU banks. So that is one challenge over there. And the other challenge is, most of the students are also not getting the education loans. So universities are not going to help you much specifically in, offering you the courses which will offer you a job. So these are basically the negative sides of it. And as there is some clarity about what is going to happen in near future, when we are out of pandemic, when the vaccination is there, maybe there will be some clarity over there and situation will change here. So those are the negative sides. Now let's move to the brighter side of the story, and let me tell you, no matter how challenging the world is going to be, no matter how tough the situation will be, India will still have a bright spot, because India is a country with millennials. I'm sure you must have heard these words. And India is the youngest country in the world, and this will keep us far away from the basic challenges which most of the countries are facing, specifically European countries and also developed countries where the aging population is really high. So on the positive sides, because of we are a young country, because of your young population, we are aggressively going for digital, and that is what the big catch is. I'm sure you must have been doing UPI transactions at your home and wherever you go, buying, shopping and everything. In last couple of months specifically, the UPI transactions have skyrocketed. I mean, you cannot imagine the growth that we have seen in UPI transactions. My dear friends, in last month itself, in November, UPI transactions, मतलब digital payment 2 बिलियन से भी ज़्यादा हुए हैं. मतलब 2 बिलियन से ज़्यादा के UPI transactions अपने देश में हुए हैं. 200 करोड़ मतलब UPI transactions, digital transactions हुए, which means that people are aggressively using and adopting digital payments. That is first great sign. इसका मतलब यह है कि digital is rising with the speed of hyperloop. दूसरे 2 मेजर चेंजेस हुए हैं बैंकिंग स्पेस में पिछले कुछ महीनों में. बिकॉज ऑफ पैंडेमिक, मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक्स एंड द फाइनेंशियल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैव शिफ्टेड द डेटा सेंटर्स टू क्लाउड. तो बहुत सारे बैंक अभी क्लाउड पे डेटा अरेंज कर रहे हैं. कैश को कोई बढ़ोतरी नहीं दे रहा है. मोस्ट ऑफ द बैंक्स आर नॉट encouraging कैश. सो उससे ये 3-4 चीज़ें होने के कारण everybody is going digital. Obviously you must have heard that digital is the new world and digital is the new engine. But what has also happened now is, after the pandemic, most of the banks and the financial institutions have realized that digital is not an alternative, but digital is the only way. Digital is not just a subsidiary or just a policy that need to be adopted, but digital is a DNA, and every bank has to grow with the digital native attitude. And that is why what has happened is, from front end to back end, everything has to be digital. And the target for the next 5 years for the banks and the financial institution is going automated, which simply means that the cashier who's dispensing cash for you at the branch will go out of job. The call center employees who picks up phone and maybe don't give you right information or just keep you hanging will be out of the jobs. The people, those who are analyzing your loan, verifying your loan, giving your checking, asking you to fill these forms in 7-8 pages, and you're submitting a lot of documents, will go out of job over the years, specifically in the bank and the financial institutions, because everything will be automated. Imagine, you used to go to a bank, you used to be in a queue for half an hour to at least one hour just to get your passbook printed or statement updated. Is it the situation now? I don't think so. I don't remember when I went to bank last time. I am sure the same story is with you. You don't care about the statement anymore because it automatically comes to your inbox. You can download the mobile application and it's there with your mobile application automatically. So you don't know how to go ahead about it. So the whole digital world is rising up and more are going aggressively on digital adoption. So these 3-4 things that I told you, those will go out of order. And most of the banks and the financial institutions will try to replace that with the digital. India में growth थोड़ी slow होगी digital में compared to developed countries, but in certain aspects, maybe payment transformation and specifically the credit processing, India is far ahead than any country in the world. And let me tell you how. So when I say that this XYZ jobs will go automated, and these people will leave, lose the jobs, or banks will not hire for these designations. Let me give you some anecdotes here. I'm sure you must have heard the name of SBI YONO, the mobile application which SBI launched just few years back. But today, according to the SBI, it's valued by $40 billion, मतलब 3 लाख करोड़. And आज SBI YONO पे 70,000 people are operating every day. आज SBI YONO 10 लाख रुपए से ज़्यादा के लोन सिर्फ एप्लीकेशन, मोबाइल एप्लीकेशन पे डिस्बर्स कर रहा है. मतलब अगर किसी को लोन लेना है SBI बैंक से, तो आपको ब्रांच जाने की भी ज़रूरत नहीं है. You can actually take the loan from SBI YONO app itself. Just you submit your Aadhaar card, salary slips and whatever document you are going to do. So imagine, earlier you used to at least spend almost 2 weeks getting that loan. Now you are doing it in few minutes. In fact, government, Bank of Baroda, PSU banks have launched certain schemes where the loans will be disbursed between 59 minutes, which means that within an hour or so, 59 seconds. Those were also the plans. So this is the anecdote that I wanted to give you specifically on the digital infrastructure. There is one more story which is a very, very important story here is, and that is giving a big fillip to the banks, is the fintech story. I'm sure you must have heard these names: startups, edtechs, fintechs. Fintechs have actually empowered banks in so many manners. Most of the banks are actually coming ahead and adopting and merging and partnering with fintechs, because fintechs are offering them great solutions. Can you imagine that even by any chance, you being a millennial and you wish to go on a date, do you know that you can also take a personal loan to go on a date? Do you know that you can actually go to a friend's wedding, buy new clothes by taking a loan? Do you know not only for a phone but even for small things you can take a loan? That's where the fintechs are making difference. Fintechs, what they do is they are actually revamping and transforming the entire backend system. So if, for example, someone of you, for example, apply for a bank loan, what they do is they look at the data of that person, they create the alternative credit score, find out the capability of that person, whether he can find how much loan we should avail him, and they submit it to the banks, and the bank disburse the loans automatically to him. So this is the major transformation that is happening in the BFSI sector. Most of the banks are adopting and partnering with fintechs. Fintechs are coming with great solutions, and let me tell you, fintech space is rising like there is no tomorrow. Despite pandemic, Indian fintechs managed to raise a lot of funds compared to many other countries in the world. The only competition we have in the fintech space is China. But let me tell you, last year even we beat the China itself. We in fact raised more money than China, Indian fintechs I'm talking about, last year. So the fintech rally is really rising high, and in fact there are a lot of takers to fintech stories. Recently, Bill Gates said that the only emerging country in the digital transformation, which we should watch out for is India. The Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that the Indian fintechs and specifically the Indian startups carry far more weightage than many other countries. So there is a lot of transformation happening on the digital side, and let me tell you, the BFSI companies are going to be the first adopter. They are already the first adopter, but let me tell you, going ahead, they will be far aggressive in adopting digital. And don't be surprised if banks stop opening the branches in near future. Most of the banks have already cancelled or abolished the plans of opening new branches. There are only few banks like Axis Bank and HDFC Bank who said that we will still open few branches in the tier 3, tier 4 cities. But the many banks have already taken a call that they will not open the branches. They will not open new branches. In fact, the whole idea of the payment bank and small finance bank was to open a bank with only maybe a 500 square feet of a small place, a small shop, that's it. So the idea of having a bank with maybe a 3,500, 5,000 square feet of real estate is gone for a toss. The new banks like Fino Payment Bank or the Suryodaya Bank are also limited to only small shops. So that is where the new banking is heading up. So before I begin to the important part, which is the second part of my session, and I'm going to talk about the new jobs opportunities, please, if you have any questions, you can start pinging, start sending on the message box. I will try my best to answer your queries here. And again, I can see some disturbance because the grilling and the hammering is going on in my society. I'm so sorry for that. But please start posting your questions. And when I specifically talk about the second part of my session, which is what are the jobs opportunities in the finance sector, what are the emerging jobs, let me tell you before that a great example. Most of the global banks, like I sometime back said, that Indian banks are also planning not to open the new branches. Most of the global banks have already taken a call not to open branches, which simply means that they want to go automatically. They want to go and operate automatically everywhere, and they will open branches maybe on Twitter and LinkedIn and social media and Instagram. That's what their plans are. Imagine even the CEOs and the call centers are operating on Twitter and Instagram these days of the banks to serve the customers more. The banking is heading towards, the banker wants to give a Swiggy-like experience. Swiggy wants to also partner with the financial institutions. And that's why the changes are happening in such a manner that if you are a MBA finance student and you apply to some bank, and if bank says we don't want you, please accept the fact that the banks are interested more into engineers. They're accepted more. They want people with tech skills. They want people with a technology background and not just finance background, because the finance and whatever little bit knowledge that you have about the finance has already been there in the system. So what they want now? They want a person with the tech skills. They want a person who can understand anything and everything about the technology. Because now the banking and the financial institutions will be driven on 2-3 aspects. When they want to go automated and when they want to adopt technologies, the only 2 aspects are crucial for them. The first is big data analytics, and second is how do you actually leverage the data to serve the customers more. I will tell you where the banks are heading, and then you will get an idea what kind of jobs are available. Earlier you used to go to a bank, apply for a loan because you want to buy a house or a car, and then the banks will scrutinize. Abolish. Cut that. Now banks already know who you are. Banks already know where you are staying. Banks already know how much do you earn. Only when they enter your name and your phone number in a data, they can access this information. So if they know that okay, you are earning this much, they are going to immediately offer you a loan on this much. So the whole idea is the banks wants to aggressively use the data which is available everywhere, and by using some analytics they want to offer you the best service. How will they do that? So they don't want a person who will calculate, okay, XYZ, for example, if my friend Sheetal wants to apply for a loan, banks don't want to calculate themselves that, okay, if she's earning 20,000 per month, how much loan she can avail. No. That algorithm has already placed in the system. What they will try to find out is, they will try to find out a person with a philosophical skills, with a psychologist skills, and with, another historian skills to understand what are Sheetal's interests, what does she like, what does she wants to do in the future. Depending on that, they will give her a platter which she may like, because banks now understand what she likes. So considering this, artificial intelligence, data science will be there in the long run. Every financial institution and every bank wants a people with a data science, who understands data science really well and who can understand artificial intelligence or analytics really, really well. And let me tell you, just 2 years back, I met someone very, very senior at Gartner at their annual event, and he told me that all over the world there are only 1100 data scientists or the analysts or the people those who are good with AI, artificial intelligence, available in the whole world. Only 1100. Maybe within 2 years we can say it doubled, so it's still 2000 or not more than 5000 for sure, I guess. The problem is there are many people who claims that they know AI and who knows that they can do a better job with analytics, but I don't think so. because when I speak with a lot of banks and the HR heads, they're still looking for this particular talent. So please remember, my friends, the whole banking sector, the whole finance sector is going to be driven specifically on the data and how they use data. In fact, recently, I'm sure you must have seen that Dinesh Khara, the new chairman of SBI, State Bank of India, took over. The first thing that he said, his first interaction with the media, and when he went live with the analyst and media, the first thing he said that my focus as a chairman going to be on analytics. What I'm going to do is how am I going to use analytics at SBI going ahead is what Mr. Khara said, who was the chairman of SBI. So data analytics, please, इसको ये मरने वाला नहीं है. In fact, if you say that, okay, I'm an MBA financial analyst and I know MBA, I have done MBA and I know finance, I know this and that, but I also know that how to use data, how to use analytics. I have done some courses here. I'm sure that banks will look at your profile very, very seriously. So apart from data analytics, there are 3-4 more aspects. In last 2 to 3 months specifically, do you know that there is a 60% jump specifically in the BFSI jobs for the Java full stack? Which simply means that banks are more interested in engineers. And do read my story, which I wrote for ET BFSI just 2 months back, with inputs from Piyush Gupta, the global CEO of DBS Bank. It's the largest bank, in fact, in the it's a top bank in the Singapore, and they are also very aggressive in India. He said very clearly in that interview that henceforth I'm not going to hire bankers more. I'm not going to hire people from the financial background, but people from the history, philosophy, and aligned skills, that background first. And in fact, he clearly said that I have more engineers in my bank working now than the financial experts. So imagine where the banking is heading. So it's true that banks are becoming an IT company and they're just serving whatever their products are to the customers. So you have to see the skill sets which is required for this kind of services. So like I said, big data analytics, algorithms are very, very. Apart from that, Java stack developers, which means you can develop something in terms of technology. Mobile app developers is also one of the rising thing for the banks, because every bank would like to have one app at least, and all of them have. But now they will have, they're planning to have multiple apps, or if not multiple apps, they would like to add a lot of stuff into one single app. That is one thing. They are also going to have a lot of people specifically for the security, because cyber security is one area. So if you go for a forensic services, or if you take some sessions or knowledge specifically about the security, I'm sure there will be a lot of techers for you. So cyber security is one area. And you must have heard this Kubernetes and using the data and data scientists and cloud, specifically cloud migration is happening. So on that front also there are a lot of jobs for the the people who could help banks in migrating data, managing the data centers really well. You must have seen the recent example of HDFC Bank, where there were a lot of issues, and after three outages, actually RBI asked them not to launch or not to go ahead with some digital initiatives. So these are going to be very, very important things. In fact, 2 years back, one of the largest cooperative bank in the India, Cosmos Bank, lost some 92 crore rupees because of the cyber attacks. So I think these are the 2-3 important areas again for the new jobs. And let me tell you, there is so much scope, because banks are not only hiring the people, those who can protect their systems, but they are also hiring the hackers. Please remember that even regulators and large banks are also interested in hiring the hackers, so that they could protect their systems really well. And last but not the least, since the credit is going to be a big thing specifically for the banks, because banks makes money only when they lend to people. So this is still in nascent stage, but let me tell you, location mapping and location based lending, also part of co-lending, is going to be one of the important thing going ahead. So for example, if one of my friend, maybe Nidhi, is living in Vadodara, Gujarat, the bank is going to see that whether the location where she is living and the location is foolproof in terms of geography, in terms of weather, and if she's into any agri business or something, they will also look at whether they can lend her according to her business. I think those are very very important things, because now what happens is, if she wants to take a loan, the banks have a clear system of, okay, 6 महीने का सैलरी स्लिप दे दो, आपका 2 साल का IT रिटर्न्स दे दो. But what if she's a small entrepreneur? What if she's a small businesswoman? So what they will do is, okay, tell me your business. If you're working in an agri business, or if you're having a fruits or something like that, maybe maybe we'll look at your business first, then your earnings, and we'll match that earnings with your business, and then we'll start co-lending you. So location based lending, co-lending is also going to be one of the important thing going ahead. So my dear friends, I think shared some of the important thoughts with you. Please start posting your questions if you have any, and please note that emerging jobs in the finance sector are specifically into artificial intelligence, algorithms, analytics, big data, cyber security, data centers. These are very very important jobs, not the typically a financial analyst or a loan verification officer or a cash dispensing officer. No, that has gone for a toss. If it is not still gone for a toss, let me tell you, within 2 years those jobs will be outdated, because the banking is heading towards UI and UX, and everything is going to happen on a mobile application. We at etbfsi.com and etcfo.com do a lot of stories related to same. At etbfsi.com we cover fintechs also very aggressively and catch different trends there. So do tune into etbfsi.com and read our stories over there. You can always connect me on Instagram, follow me, and message me whatever your queries are. As and when I get time, I will try my best to resolve your queries. So let me just go through the questions that few of you have asked me, and let me see how I can help you with that. So I can see that, again, please pardon me, as I said that I'm there on the Instagram for doing an Instagram live for the first time, so I don't know much about it, and there is also some noise. I think there are some questions that I have. So somebody just asked me about the skill sets. So I partly covered that, but my dear friend, on the skill set side, as I said, someone called Ria, what tech skills can we learn to keep up with the trend? So in fact, I will give you some more information here, Ria. The question is, you just not need a typical skill sets, but how do you align your skill sets with the future? So like I said, big data analytics, and how do you use algorithms, and how do you apply artificial intelligence to find out what a customer needs. Because in India still the banks are not looking at customer service very very aggressively, though they talk about it, but going ahead they will not have an option but to offer a better service. So to answer your question directly, tech skills, that's what I would say. Now give some more information to your question. Then I think, what would you like to do? If for example you are interested in serving customers, then please, big data analytics, that's the important thing that you should learn. If you are interested in security and protecting using technology and building firewalls, please go ahead and learn something about the security. You are more in terms of IT integration, and you are more interested in specifically technology, I think you should go for data center and something like that, because Kubernetes and all those things are emerging. So there are a lot of scopes. It's also not that the banks will not need people. Please remember this, that banks will keep hiring people, but they will not hire for the same profiles which they used to hire earlier. They will go for different profiles. That's what I mean by saying that changing jobs in the banking or the BFSI sector. So there is one more dope I would like to give or share here is, it's just not about your skill sets, or it's just not about what it's also about what is the bank's requirement. So for example, if you go for a job or something like that, and if recruitment officer looks at your profile, I think you should be in a position to tell him what you know and what you can do to the bank. Okay, and if you are planning to do something new for the bank, maybe they will be interested in your profile, rather than just telling them, okay, I'm an MBA finance analyst and I know this and I know that, and can you hire me? You should be in a position to tell them, okay, I am doing this, I am an MBA finance student and I have taken these courses and I can do this for you, and maybe he will be more interested in your profile. So I think I could see some good numbers here. I think there is this someone called Karthik Natarajan. He's asking me what is the future of payment gateways and what are we looking to improve in the existing ones and insurtech in banking area. Hey Karthik, very good question, and in fact I must appreciate your learnings on this. So पेमेंट गेटवेज का फ्यूचर अच्छा ही रहेगा, बट उसमें कंसोलिडेशन काफ़ी होगा, बिकॉज यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट इनिशियली लॉट ऑफ पेमेंट कंपनीज केम इनटू द पिक्चर बट दे वैनिश्ड ओवर द years, and now Google Pay, Phone Pay, and Paytm and WhatsApp Pay will dominate. So the company, specifically the payment gateways offering services to all these companies will be limited. Also they are what you can say transiting it to banks and all. उसमें consolidation होगा, but future bright है payment gateways का भी, उसमें कोई issue नहीं है, because it's not only about local transactions now. Going ahead they will also look for global transactions, which is known as cross-border transactions. So that is first part of your answer, Karthik. Second part you're saying is the we are looking to improve in the existing ones, insurtech in banking area. So थोड़ा mismatch है इसमें. इंश्योरटेक बैंकिंग के साथ पार्टनरशिप ज़रूर कर रहे हैं, बट इंश्योरटेक का फर्स्ट एजेंडा ये है कि दे विल पार्टनर विद द इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज, customize policies, and then they will sell it to customers. Now whether they go to a bank and sell the insurance policies, I don't think that will work a lot, because bank already has a partnership with the insurance companies. Insurtech is a different business model altogether. ये मतलब फिनटेक का छोटा भाई बोल सकते हो आप इसको. What insurance tech companies are doing is they are creating a different policies altogether. मतलब ऐसा नहीं है कि सिर्फ वो existing policies है वो बेच रहे हैं. So for example, there are insurtech companies who are selling policies like backpack insurance, trek insurance, or a trip insurance or a cycle insurance, something like this, which traditional companies never offered. Right? You go and buy something on the internet, or you are just having a trip with Ola and Uber, and you pay 2 rupees extra, and they will give you a cover of XYZ amount. So that is what insurtech is doing. In India, honestly, insurtech is still not picked up really well. Insurtech बहुत धीरे से ग्रो कर रहा है, but in developed countries like Europe and specifically UK, insurtech बहुत aggressively grow कर रहा है. And I will give you an example of a top company from UK called Lemonade. उस कंपनी ने 5 साल पहले अपना बिजनेस शुरू किया था, और अभी 4-5 महीने पहले वो कंपनी न्यूयॉर्क स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में लिस्टेड हो गई है. उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू इज़ मोर देन $3 billion. इमेजिन from where it started and where it is today. So insurtech का future भी काफ़ी bright है. I think there are 2-3 more questions, but I think what are the job opportunities, what is new, I think those 2-3 questions I already have answered. And any other questions, guys? If you have, please feel free to ask. I'm going to be here for 2-3 more minutes. I think the time is already up. Again, I'm so sorry for the disturbance, even it's disturbing me as well, but I can't help it. Those are the virtual challenges. I'm happy at least the god of network is supporting me. I think there is no network disruption at least, and I think trying to reach you. But I would also suggest you to keep following me on LinkedIn and Instagram, because I keep posting a lot of stories which I write specifically about the future of banking, the future of BFSI on etbfsi.com, and also share on the social media platforms. So I will be very happy and to share my learnings with you guys as and when you have any questions. So please stay in touch, stay tuned, and if there are any suggestions and feedback on how to improve Instagram Live, or how to what you can say do Instagram more, what you can say, in a far more meaningful manner, do let me know. I'm very good at doing moderation at what you can say, the television and the panel discussions, but this particular format is very new to me, and I actually took some learnings from all of my friends, maybe Sheetal, Nidhi, Mansi, Prarthana, and so many friends of mine actually helped me here, even my nephew Sai. he's the one who empowered me, in fact, to do this live. So I guess I think there are no more questions, and I mean, there are 2-3 questions, but as I said, that those are just part of my discussion already. So that's it from my side, my dear friends. So stay tuned with me, stay connected to etbfsr.com and my profile here on Instagram, and stay in touch. If you have any other queries, you can always ping me. And if you want me to cover any specific topic on the job side or the BFSI or the finance side, maybe I will think about it. So keep posting your comments or feedback, and I will consider that seriously. So thank you so much for being part of this session, spending your valuable time on the Saturday in the morning. I keep receiving a lot of messages from you guys, so I thought I will just go live and share whatever I know about the banking and the finance sector, specifically in terms of jobs. So again, thank you so much, and wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much for joining.